Hi YouTubers out there, it's Fortune Cookie 45LC coming to you with the subject of grip angles. Now there's been a raging argument on the internet about the proper grip angle for a handgun. But here's how it was back in the beginning of weaponry when soldiers and armies used swords like this one, which is a sword from the movie First Night. And this was the grip angle. Notice the severe downward bend of the wrist. It kind of reminds you of a scene from the movie Terminator, the first Terminator movie, doesn't it? Kind of gives you the willies. Anyway, that's the way it was in the early days of weaponry. And then, at the turn of the century, Luger came along. Gun is clear. And this was the grip angle. Now Bill Ruger borrowed this grip angle from the Japanese Nambu pistol, which was the same as the German Luger in the grip angle. And to use this grip angle required that there was that little bit of a bend to the wrist. Because there was quite an angle to the grip. Now the argument can be made that if you take your wrist and you put it out, that physiologically the bones of the wrist in a pressure situation will assume a certain set. Whether we are going to use open hand techniques or fist techniques, if we bend our wrist down, we bow our wrist so that you get a curve here, that doesn't feel very strong. In fact, there's a lot of strain on the wrist here, physiologically speaking. But a lot of pistols work this way. The original flintlocks work this way. The dueling pistols work this way. And even some Olympic target pistols work this way. Something like a limp wrist, type of an angle here of the wrist. Now think about this for a while. If you're in a tense situation, are you going to use your wrist like this? This is not a strong position. And yet some people say this is a natural pointing position. Or is this natural? Or is that natural? Or is that natural? Or is this natural? Now I'm not going to take a stand on any of this. I just want the YouTubers out there to think about this and apply it to yourself. What works for you? Not necessarily someone that is telling you that the Luger is the only grip angle that's right, or the 1911 grip angle is right. What works for you? That's the important thing. We'll get into that in a little while. So along came the 1911. Now, John Browning designed the model 1911, and certainly he could have made the grip angle any way he wanted. So why did he adopt this angle? Is it because if you take your fist and you strengthen it because you're in a tense situation, and you put the gun in the hand that is pointing right down the forearm, right down the finger, does that work for you? No. Along came the revolver. Along came the revolver. And you'll read in some circles that the single action revolver, the Colt 1873 design of this grip was a piece of art. Because it is a natural point. In fact, some people will say that the Colt is the most natural pointing handgun of all. Is this true? Is it true that if you take your fist and you strengthen it physiologically, and then you place the gun in there without changing the bones of your wrist, does that point right down your forearm? Right down where how you point your pointing finger? And is that why this pistol points, as they say, naturally? However, beware of bad copies. This is made in Germany. And it's cheap. It's made out of some kind of pot metal. And this gun really isn't good for anything except being a paperweight. But look what happens when you put this in your hand. Would you call that a natural pointer? And the answer is no. So again, what works for you? Now comes one of the most popular pistols of today. And a lot of the YouTubers out there love this pistol. I don't blame you because I love it too. It's a fine pistol. No, it's not loaded. Click. The grip angle of the Glock happens to be between the 1911 and the Luger. So now if you strengthen your wrist and put the Glock in your hand, in my hand, there's a slight upward angle to it. So we're not going to argue about what grip is best. Is the Luger the best? Is the Glock the best? Is the 1911 the best? Is the single action army or double action grip the best? The important thing is what works for you, and here's how you figure it out. Close your eyes, take your grip, two-hand grip, put your arms out to your eye level and open your eyes and see where the sights are. If the gun is perfect for you, when you open your eyes, the sights will be there. Let's repeat that. Close your eyes, take your grip, thrust it out in a defensive position with your eyes closed, open your eyes and see where the sights are. If the sights are there, it's there. It's good for you, but is it always good for you? Now try one-handed. Close your eyes, put the pistol out, open your eyes and see if the sights are lined up. If they are, it's great for you. Now finally, you have to go to range for this, is take your pistol and hold it at hip level, point your arm at the threat, which is best a silhouette target, fire a few rounds and see if you're hitting where you're looking. If it hits there, that pistol is right for you. Never sell the pistol once you determine the one that fits for you. Is it a 1911? Put your arms out, open your eyes. If the sights are on, it's on. It's good for you. This idea of putting the gun out and limp wristing like this, and it's pointing down at the ground, and that makes the 1911 a bad pistol. You don't know about that. If you're in a pressure situation, you're not going to go around like this. You're going to be holding that pistol as if you're in either an open hand or closed hand combat. You're going to be holding it like that. You're not going to be limp wristing it like this. However, see if it works for you or not. If you are a limp wrister in a tight situation, well, you better not use 1911. But if you're firm, then maybe it'll work for you. Again, you have to test yourself to see if it'll work for you, not what someone says. This video is to get you to figure out what's best for you, what works for you. And that's the most important thing. So with a single action revolver, if you put this out and it happens to be right on target, and one-handed happens right on target, and you go here at hip level because that is right down your forearm, and you're going to be in a combat situation where you're going to go like this against the threat. If that pistol is right there without you having to do any compensation for your wrist, this might be the best pistol for you. Especially in .45 Colt caliber, or any big bore. But that could be in any pistol. Glock, 1911, it could all be a big bore. So again, what works for you? If this is right down your forearm, that's the way you also point. Right down your forearm. You're not going to do it like that. You're going to point. And if the pistol points for you, it will put the bullets right where you're looking. So YouTubers, give it some kind of thought. Because this won't work. Fortune Cookie 45LC wishes you a good night.